Hello students, today we'll study first poem of grade 11. The title of the poem is A Photograph and it's written by Shirley Tolson. To understand the poem in great detail, we'll study about the life of the poet in brief, introduction of the poem, rhyme scheme, if it is there or not, difficult words, its explanation, the poetic devices used in the poem, and the theme it centers on. So these 7 things we'll study. To begin with, we'll peep into the life of the poet, and the poet is Shirley Tolson. Shirley Tolson was born in 1924 and died in 2018 at the age of 94. If we talk about her profession, she was a writer, and basically she wrote about Britain's walks, ancient tracts and traditions. She was an educationist and an editor also. She was born and brought up in England. If we talk about her major works, so Celtic Alternative, Celtic Year, Shadows in an Orchard, Circumcisions, Not Such a Bad Thing After All, and All Right Arden, I Know You Are There are few of her major works. Now we'll see the introduction part of the poem. So the poem is melancholic and nostalgic in nature. Melancholic, that causes sorrow and sadness, and nostalgic, that brings pleasant memories of past life. So we'll see how the poem that talks about the pleasant moments of life causes sadness in the poet. It means the poem, comma should have been over here, unfolds the very tenet of time and timelessness. Tenet, principle, the theory. The poem talks about the principle of time and timelessness, the things which are time bound and the things which are timeless. She'll bring out this theme and create a contrast. The poem strongly hints at the eternal state of natural beings. Natural beings, all the natural objects, mountains, oceans, then heavenly bodies, all these things are natural beings, and the ephemeral state of humans. Ephemeral, temporary, short-lived. Here we are acquainted with, we are introduced with a picture of sea beach. Over here you can see where the 3 girls are there. You can see the sea beach. They are moving on the sea beach. And the 3 girls including the poet's mother. Out of these 3 girls, one is poet's mother. And who is that one girl? This standing in the center, the tallest of the 3. She is poet's mother. She rarely changed, but the mother of poet met the horns of death. She suffered the pangs and pain of death. She is eternal, but mother was mortal. That's why she died. So this is brief introduction of the poem, and when we'll study, we'll find the poem talks about the photo frame, the cardboard, and she'll talk about the sea beach and her mother along with her 2 cousins. These 2 girls are the cousins of poet's mother, and her uncle who is clicking their photograph. We can see over here this camera held by. All these photos are just representatives. So now we'll see stanza 1, and to begin with we'll see the rhyme scheme of the poem. So we find that was, then paddling, new sound. Let's give the alphabetic letters to each sound. Hands, new sound. See, so, new sound. Here, new sound. Face, new sound. Born, new sound. Over here, less, again new sound. And feet, new sound. It means all the lines end in a new sound, thus creating no sound pattern. So this poem is not a rhymed verse. No rhyme scheme is there. Now, either it falls in the category of blank verse or free verse. In blank verse, rhyme scheme is missing, but length of the lines is almost equal, not exactly equal, but almost equal. So we can find that the lines are almost equal. So we can say the poem belongs to the category of blank verse. This is a blank verse. Now let's see the explanation of the poem. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling. The photo is there, which is hanging against the wall, and Shirley Tolson, the poet of this poem, she looks at the photograph and then tells us the cardboard shows. Cardboard means the photo frame. Me how it was when two girl cousins went paddling. Paddling to walk in water. The people go on sea beach, and over there when the waves just roll towards the seashore, the people walk on those waves. So that is called paddling, walking in the water. So those two cousins, what two cousins and whose cousin? Cousin of poetess mother, each holding one of my mother's hands. She says that the two cousins of my mother used to go along with my mother, and on sea beach they used to hold hands of my mother. Means she always was standing in the center of the three. And she, who is she over here? She refers to the poet's mother, the big girl, some 12 years or so. The age of poet's mother those days was around 11 or 12. Not exact, but around 11 or 12, maybe 13. It means she was in her early adolescence. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. And who used to go along with them, who accompanied all these three young girls to beach? Uncle of poet's mother. She used to take them to, he used to take them to sea beach and used to capture the beautiful moments on the sea beach in his camera. So the scene is poet's mother is standing in the center, and her two cousins, they are standing to her flanks, to her sides, holding her hand, and the blowing winds, they are disturbing their hair, which have fallen on their face. They are smiling through their hair because they are giving pose to their uncle to click their photographs. And she says that a sweet face my mother's, that was before I was born. She says that when my mother was young, she was a very pretty girl. She was a very beautiful girl. Her face was very cute and beautiful. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. They used to walk in the water. You can see over here the young child moving in the water waves. The waves are rolling toward the seashore, the people standing over there, and her mother as well as her two cousins used to stand over there, and rolling water waves used to wash their feet. Terribly transient feet. Terribly transient feet means extremely short-lived life. Over here it refers to the brevity of human life. Short-lived human life. But at the same time, she says that there is hardly any change in the sea. Still the things are just the same. Now, stanza number 2. Some 20. If we talk about the first stanza, it is devoted to the childhood of poet's mother. It is devoted to the childhood of poet's mother. Now, moving to the second stanza, Shirley Tolson says that some 20-30 years later, in the opening stanza, she is shown around 12 years. If we talk about 20-30 years, means she is talking about around 32 to 42. Means she says that almost in her late 30s, she would laugh at the snapshot when the poet's mother was mature and now married also. So poetess says that my mother used to look at the photograph. She would look at the photograph and then addressing her cousin. See Betty and Dolly. Betty and Dolly were the cousins of poet's mother. Addressing her cousins, she used to laugh and say, see Betty and Dolly, this is how our parents used to dress us up. What type of the dresses we used to put on? Means children are children. They are not that much formal. Whatever the casual dresses are given to them, clothes are given to them, they happily put them on. It shows the innocence of the childhood also. And then she says that the sea holiday was her past. Poetess says that sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Now, these things are the talk of bygone days. Sea holiday, when my mother was young child, she used to go, but now she can't go. It has become the part of the history of her life. And mine is her laughter. Something I also lost. Mother lost her childhood days. The fun and frolics she used to enjoy in childhood days is not being enjoyed by mother now. And poetess also has lost something. What is that? The laughter, the smiling face of mother. Both wry, and we both are wry. We both are distorted. We both are split personality now. We both are twisted persons. How twisted, how distorted, and how split personality? Then she says that with the labored ease of loss. Beautiful line. She says that we both have suffered the loss. And what is that loss? For mother, the loss is of childhood holidays, going to sea beach and enjoy. And for the poet, the loss is the smiling face of her mother. She says we both are at loss. We have lost something in life. But then what? Still, even after suffering that big loss, we are trying to show that we are at ease. We are relaxed. And to appear to be at ease, to appear to be relaxed, we need to put a lot of efforts. We are working very hard to conduct ourselves in a way that people might not know about what is running in our mind. So the poet says that there is a gap between in our inner world and our outer world. We are different inside, we are feeling different inside, but we are projecting just opposite of that. And as a result, we have become distorted personality. We have become wry. We have become split personality. Moving to next and the third stanza. By the way, the second stanza focuses on the adulthood of mother. This is focused on the adulthood of mother life. Now moving to the third stanza. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Who is she, by the way, and who is that girl? Shirley Tolson is telling about her mother. She stands for mother of the poet, and that girl refers to the mother of poet. So she has been dead. Now she is no more. The poet's mother is now no more in this world. She is dead. But when did she die? How long back did she die? She says nearly as many years as that girl is dead. Shirley Tolson doesn't give us exact date or the duration. She just mentions that she is no more. That's it. But when it comes about telling the date and duration, she gives us a reference. She says that now she has been dead for as many years as she lived. Suppose poet's mother lived for 50 years. So now she has been dead for 50 years. And if she lived for 60 years, then now she has been dead for 60 years. But why did the poet play with the words? Why is she playing with the words? The reason being, she wants to bring out a beautiful concept of life, and that is death is inevitable, and that makes a matter. When it comes, which date it comes, how much duration has been to the death of anybody is insignificant. What is significant and what makes a point is that person is dead. Death is inevitable to all. Whether people die at young age, middle age, or old age, this is secondary thing. But everybody dies. This is something inevitable. This is something of great significance. And to bring out this sense, she doesn't mention the exact date or duration. She just gives the reference. And of this circumstance, what is this circumstance stands for? This circumstance means the moment or the fact of the death of her mother. There is nothing to say at all. She says that about the death of my mother, I can't speak even a single word. I can't say anything. It's silence, silences. And whenever I recall the death of my mother, I fall silent. I become silent. Why? The moment, the memory of my mother's death triggers emotions in my heart. I become overwhelmed with the emotions and I can't speak even a single word. I become silent, and along with me, everything around me gets wrapped into silence. Silence silences. So students, this was the explanation part of the poem. Now we'll see the poetic devices used in it. So first one is allusion. Allusion is the poetic devices in which the poet gives a fleeting reference, a quick reference of any object, and then doesn't tell in detail about that one. He gives a quick reference, or she gives, over here Shirley Tolson gives a quick reference and then leaves things for the readers to understand in their own ways, to interpret in their individual ways. So whenever poet or author uses any quick reference about the objects, that is called allusion. The poet alludes over here. Next is alliteration, and this poem is rich in alliteration. Then is transferred epithet. Epithet means adjective, and transferred means misplaced, placed at the wrong position. So transferred epithet means the adjective which is used at the wrong place. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is the juxtaposition of two contrasting words, rather two opposite words. Sometimes they are just antonyms, sometimes they are just opposite in nature. Then we'll see the symbols and we'll see irony used in the poem. So now let's see them one by one. In stanza number 1, we'll see the cardboard. The cardboard is the example of allusion. Why? Cardboard means what? Cardboard over here refers to the photograph of poet's mother when she was in childhood, and she used to go to sea beach along with her two cousins and with her uncle. So that photograph has been mentioned as cardboard. And cardboard is very hard, it's very protective in nature. So this gives a meaning like the childhood memories were cherished in the heart beautifully. Then next is alliteration. So all these over here you can see the words which begin with the green letter, they all are the example of alliteration. Over here to begin with we have one, where the beginning sound, by the way this is o, but the sound comes out, that is where, one and one. So one and one, when you just give example of alliteration, you just give example of one and this one, just skip this holding over here, it's not having anything to do with these two words. So one and one, where sound which is consonantal in nature is repeated, that's why it creates alliteration. Next one is holding and hands. Over here holding hands, H sound is repeated, so this is alliteration. And third example is my mother's, so may repeated over here, may is repeated, may sound, that's why this is alliteration. Moving to next we can see some and so in the same line, say sound is being repeated, that's why this is alliteration. Moving to next line we can say stood still, so again over here say sound is repeated. Then comes smile, so in this line say sound is repeated thrice, 3 times, stood still to smile, again beautiful example of alliteration. And then coming to the last line we can see terribly transient, in this case we'll take only these two words beginning with te sound, terribly transient, so over here also this is example of alliteration. Now next one is transferred epithet, this complete one, terribly transient feat. If we talk about alliteration, you have to just select two words, terribly transient only. When we talk about transferred epithet, we have to include all these 3 words, terribly transient feat. So terribly transient feat, feat over stands for the brief life of human beings, and human life is very much transient. Transient means short-lived, very brief, and terribly means extremely short. So transient feat stands for life. Poet directly did not say that human life is short, she is using some references only, and through that she brings out that notion and concept. So terribly transient feat means extremely short life of human beings if we compare it against the lifespan of the natural objects like mountains, oceans and heavenly bodies. So human life is very insignificant. Moving to the second stanza, we find that 2 examples are given for alliteration, labored ease of loss. So la sound is repeated twice over here, that's why this is alliteration. Now next one we can see this phrase or these 2 words, labored ease. We know labored means where we put in efforts, we make a lot of efforts and do hard work, that is labor. And ease means relaxation. It means labored and ease both are the opposite words in nature. When we labor, we can't be at ease, and when we are at ease, it means there is an absence of the efforts. So, two opposite words are put together, they are juxtaposed, and it creates oxymoron. So, this is the beautiful example of oxymoron over here. Moving to the next stanza, which is the last one also, we find only one example, that is alliteration. Silence, silences. Over here, this is alliteration. So we saw the explanation part of the poem and then poetic devices used over here. Now two more are there. One is symbol. So how many symbols are used in this poem? So one is the C. C is the symbol of what? C is the symbol of longevity of natural objects. Longevity of the life of natural objects. And then what else? The girls. Young girls. Poet's mother and her two cousins Betty and Dolly. These girls symbolize, or especially their transient feet. Those transient feet, especially I'll go for those transient feet, they are the symbol of brevity of human life. So these two symbols has been used beautifully in this poem. And then next comes irony. Where is the irony in the poem? We know that Shirley Tolson tells us about the photograph of mother where she used to go to sea beach in her young age, when she was very young, of 10, 11 or 12 years only. And in that photo we see the girls are very happy. They are standing holding hand of each one another. They are paddling in the water and they are giving pose for photography to their uncle. So in photo the life seems very happy, but looking at that happy moment of her mother's childhood days, the poetess feels very sad and it triggers melancholy and sorrow in the heart of the poetess. So the happy moment shown in the picture, in the photo, triggers sadness and sorrow in the heart of the poetess. So this discrepancy of the fact is known as irony. So this is very ironical. So these were the poetic devices, students. Now moving to the next part, this is theme of the poem. So the poem is all about transience of human life, brevity and short-lived human life, death and mysteries surrounding them. Mysteries surrounding them, not as surroundings. The poet is looking at the photograph of her mother and missing her, because mother is no more. She is looking at the photo, and the moment she looks at the photograph of her mother and her two cousins, the memories associated with mother, they flood the mind of the poet. The photograph depicts, it displays the scene of her mother's childhood when she, along with her cousins Betty and Dolly and uncle, had gone to beach. So this is the theme. Basic theme is contrast between the longevity of the lifespan of natural objects and brevity of human life. This is the central idea of the poem, which Shirley Tolson brings out in a very beautiful and appealing way. So students, that's all for now. I hope you got each and everything in a very crystal clear way. In case any doubt, you can write your comments in the comment section. I'll address and revert. We'll see you soon with the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.